Hello. Just had a conversation there with somebody and they were talking about freedom in the business and what it actually meant to them. A lot of the time they were wondering if they were free, would they be bored? And in my experience, most people who are running businesses and things don't actually want to be free to do nothing. They want to be free to do the things they like. And that's a whole area we explore early doors when we're in coaching. But at the moment, I just wanted to bring up one thing, and that is part of freedom is the freedom to stop doing a lot of the things you feel like you have to do. And that's one of the big things to start with. We look at what do you feel like you currently have to do, but you want to stop doing. I want to draw the distinction though between that and I don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like doing it is very different to I don't want to. I don't feel like doing it is often a trap. And it can come in several forms, but two of the most common are that people don't realise that they don't feel like doing something but just because they're in the wrong emotional state. When you had a job and you came home from work, you'd have a cup of tea and you could head out and do other things. There was a natural change of state. But when you're in your business, the business is always there on your mind generally. So you're always sort of partially in that mode, and often you spend a lot of your life in continual partial attention. The real skill to learn is that the state that's appropriate for dealing with customer inquiries, firefighting, is very different to the state that's required, say, to sit down and write a sales letter or to actually try and be creative about what your business is really about. Those two things require very different states. As would, if you're going to go for a run, that's a very different state to sitting writing a sales letter. So when you're writing a sales letter, sometimes you can be so in the zone you just don't feel like going for a run. But we both know that whether it's a run or a walk or just a change of scenery, often that is the very thing you need to do. So the first thing I'd say is, when you're in that situation where you don't feel like doing something, get up, move around, even better get outside, get some fresh air, but just do something to change your state and then make a decision as to what you're going to do. But don't make the decision sitting there thinking, sitting on the sofa, I don't really feel like doing it today. Get into motion and see how that affects you. As some of the yoga people say, motion can be lotion. The other part of it is, though, that I don't feel like it can mean I don't really want to do it in the short term. And this is a biggie because often to free ourselves, we need to do the uncomfortable things that are outside of our comfort zone in order to give ourselves the freedom to do other things. And sometimes doing the short-term I don't want to's can actually be the thing that frees you up. The opposite's also true. People who only do what they feel like they're going to do will often become victims of the circumstances and just end up going round in circles, doing the same old things. And the comfort zone gets smaller and smaller. I'll maybe put a link to the video about comfort zones below. But the most important thing to recognise is, where is it something that you don't want to do, and where is it something that you don't want to do in the short term, even though you know that it'll give you a big benefit in the future. A real easy example for me is, I really don't feel like cleaning my teeth most of the time, but I know that by cleaning my teeth I minimise the chance of me needing to go to the dentist and get a filling, or even worse, a tooth out. And there's nothing worse than going to the dentist, apart from not being able to go to the dentist when you really need to. I think a lot of us have learnt that through lockdown. So those are the two things. Spot the difference between I don't want to and I don't feel like. And if you don't feel like doing something, check if you're just not in the right state, or is it just something that you think you don't want to do in the short term, but actually you know that in the longer term it's going to bring you big benefits. Just something for you to think about today. Bye for now.